John Edwin Anthony's family name has been associated with lumber and timber in South Arkansas for more than 100 years, and Mr. Anthony himself has been a key part of that formula for over 50. The legacy started with Mr. Anthony's great-great-grandfather Addison and continued through his grandfather Garland and his father Ted. That family tradition continues today through Mr. Anthony's grandchildren, including his oldest grandson, another Addison. John Edwin Anthony was born February 14, 1939 in Camden. He grew up among the pines of South Arkansas and East Texas, working in the family mill and timberlands during the summer. In 1957, he left for Fayetteville and the University of Arkansas, the first of his family to attend college. In 1961, just a month before Mr. Anthony was to graduate from college, his father died unexpectedly of a massive heart attack. He was just 48 years old. John Ed pulled himself together after the devastating loss, graduated from the university with a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, and went home to Bearden to help with the family business. 22-year-old John Ed and his 77-year-old grandfather Garland joined as partners. Leadership of the family enterprises fell to John Ed.
I think back on the era when Mr. Garland Anthony had to be developing the framework for the company, and he was the one thing I think he accomplished. He was always doing something. He didn't just sit still.
Anthony Timberlands Incorporated was formed with the expansion of timberland ownership and the acquisition, expansion, and modernization of mills and other facilities. Ownership of timberland grew from 70,000 acres in 1961 to 180,000 acres by 2006, with another 30,000 acres managed for absentee landowners under the umbrella of Anthony Timberlands. The corporation became the largest independent owner of timberland in Arkansas, and the combined enterprises have total revenues of $200 million a year.
For 45 or so years of my experience, going forward was always the right thing to do, and that's been the focus of our affairs.
The company now has 15 graduate foresters to supervise the timberlands and logging. About 750 direct employees working in the mills and offices spread across southern Arkansas, plus another 200 in logging, 100 in trucking, and 50 in security. In 2004, when Mr. Anthony was 65, his son Stephen was named President of Anthony Timberlands, a title Mr. Anthony had held for 43 years. Today, the corporation's headquarters in Bearden stand only 3 miles from the location of the original Anthony Mill, built by Mr. Anthony's grandfather all those years ago. The family-run company continues its legacy of stewardship of the forests of South Arkansas, maintaining stands of timber to ensure a continuous flow of large, high-quality raw materials for the mills as the region has produced for generations.
Not all the pioneers in the industry were as forward-thinking as Mr. Garland and my dad, who selectively harvested the timber rather than clear-cutted.
Mr. Anthony is justifiably famous for growing a thriving timber business, but what has gotten him more press coverage over the years is racing thoroughbred horses. Over a 25-year period starting in 1973, Loblolly Stable was one of the premier thoroughbred racing and breeding operations in the United States. One of the ways you knew a horse was from Loblolly Stables was that it usually was named for a familiar landmark or town in southern Arkansas. Temperance Hill won the Belmont in 1980, Pine Bluff the Preakness in 1992, and Prairie Bayou the Preakness in 1993. During the same period, there were 3 Arkansas Derby winners: Temperance Hill, Demons Be Gone, and Pine Bluff. Temperance Hill, Van Lanningham, and Prairie Bayou were Eclipse Award-winning champions of their generations. Mr. Anthony was honored in 2001 by being inducted into the Arkansas Sports Hall of Fame.
It's something about being, I think everyone kind of knows, there's something about being associated with a spirited, a beautiful animal, and so as time passed, it became a major part of my life.
Although loblolly was dispersed in the mid-1990s, Mr. Anthony continues his interest in racing as shortleaf stable, named for another kind of pine tree that grows in Anthony timberlands, smaller with higher quality. He has served as an officer of the Thoroughbred and Breeders Association and was elected to membership in the Jockey Club of New York in 1993. Mr. Anthony has a wide range of other interests, including the ATI Scholarship Program for graduates of Bearden High School. He has served as president of the Arkansas Forestry Association, a member of the Executive Committee of the Southern Forest Products Association, and he has testified in Washington on behalf of the Southern forest industry. He is chairman of the American Family Business Foundation of Washington, D.C. He served as president and is a current board member of the Bank of Bearden. In recent years, he was a member and then chairman of the Board of Trustees of the University of Arkansas in 2010-2011. In 2006, Mr. Anthony and his wife Isabel initiated the construction of the Anthony Chapel Complex at Garvin Woodland Gardens in Hot Springs. This 6-story wood and glass chapel with windows that stretch from floor to ceiling is located in the beautiful botanical gardens. The 80-foot copper and steel Anthony Family Carillon is located nearby. In addition to his wife Isabel, her daughter Erin Wood, and husband Brett, Mr. Anthony's family includes his eldest son Stephen and wife Gay, with their children Addison and Wilson, daughter Paige and her children Tyler, Laura Kane, and Brooks Tipton, plus his youngest son Ed and wife Melissa. Mr. Anthony has inspired others with his dedication to excellence in everything he does. He has built a long-term legacy of stewardship of his family enterprises and the timberlands of South Arkansas. For his inspiration for Arkansas, for his dedication and passion for winning, Mr. John Edwin Anthony is deserving of the Arkansas Business Hall of Fame.